Welcome back to another video, everybody. Today I'm in my car. This is like a really weird setup I have going on, but I kind of like the lighting here and it's actually working out fairly well so far. Like, this is my setup. It's very strange, but it's actually working pretty well. But as you guys know, the 90-second Oscars are coming up soon on February 9th, and they've already released all of the Academy Award nominees, all the people, all the films that have been nominated, and I haven't really said too much about it yet. I actually did make my top 10 of 2019 on Letterboxd a few days ago, but it's not exactly complete yet because I haven't seen all the films I've wanted to see yet. There's still a few I'm missing, but for the most part, that list is pretty solid, but it might change once I see a few more movies like Honey Boy or like Climax I still haven't seen. 2019 was a pretty incredible year for cinema. I was surprised by how many great films came out. It wasn't as good as like 2014 or like 2017 in my opinion. I thought those were like outstanding years for movies, but it was pretty close to those. And I actually have a list of all the movies and actors and actresses that were nominated for awards, so let's go through them and I'll give some of my thoughts on them and some predictions I have for who I think might win and who I want to win. We're definitely missing a few movies like Uncut Gems, Midsummer, The Lighthouse. Those are a few movies that weren't nominated, and it's just unfortunate, but what can you do? I guess we did get one nomination for The Lighthouse we'll talk about a little bit later, but that's about it. So getting right into it, we have the live action short films. I didn't see any of those, so I'm not going to talk about them. Then we have best animated short film. I also haven't seen those, so I really don't have too much to say, unfortunately. When we get to best production design, this is what we have for all the movies nominated. Out of all of these picks, I mean, there were some really good ones. 1917 was incredible, of course, because it's a war film. Like, they did a lot with the production design there. And the fact that the film was all one shot, they had to really like do a lot for the production design for the one shot thing they were trying to go for. It's just really incredible, so I could see that winning. Parasite looked incredible. I don't have too much to say about it. It was just amazing film. I haven't seen Jojo Rabbit yet, unfortunately. Irishman was fine. Like, I could see that winning, I guess. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, of course, they recreated Hollywood in like the 50s or 60s, can't remember, but that was incredible too. I could probably see 1917 winning. I think that was pretty technically amazing, but I'd want to give it to Parasite personally. Moving on to best costume design, these are all the nominees. I mean, these are pretty good too. I mean, Joker was good, but it was kind of like normal clothes besides his suit. The Irishman was good because they all had to like go with the time. Little Women, I could see definitely winning because it's a period piece and it's just, everything looked incredible there. I mean, it really felt like we were back in the olden days in New York City. Jojo Rabbit still haven't seen. Once Upon a Time, yeah, I could see that. Same with Irishman. I hope Little Women wins for this. I don't know if it will, but I feel like out of all of these, Little Women is probably going to be the one that takes it home. Moving on to best visual effects, these are all the films nominated. I mean, come on, Avengers Endgame, we all know that looked incredible. Like, that had one of the biggest budgets ever, so I mean, I could definitely see that winning along with like The Rise of Skywalker. I mean, those are two really giant movies that had a huge budget, so their visual effects obviously were pretty outstanding, except for some of the Force Ghost CGI in The Rise of Skywalker. Not gonna say anything, but Luke Skywalker, you know who you are. Besides that, The Lion King's on here. Do we really need to even talk about The Lion King? I really dislike that movie. It's so unnecessary. Didn't even look that good to me. I mean, the animation was fine, but I don't know, it didn't stand out to me. 1917, I don't think that needs to win visual effects, so I'd probably give this one to Endgame or The Rise of Skywalker, not really sure though. Moving on, we have sound mixing, and these are all the films that were nominated. This is also a really tough one because we had like Ad Astra on there, which is a science fiction film in space, so like sound mixing there was incredible. But then we have 1917, which is the war film, had all the explosions and stuff like that. Probably give this one to Ad Astra personally, but I think 1917 is most likely gonna win. But I could also see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood winning, actually. Moving on to one of the big ones, we have best cinematography, and these are all the nominees for that. I'm going to school right now, and Lawrence Sher, the guy who did like Godzilla King of the Monsters and then Joker, who's nominated right now, he actually did a little class here, and I gotta go listen to him speak for about an hour and a half or so, and he showed like behind the scenes clips from Joker and Godzilla before both of those films were out. So I got a little behind the scenes, and I got to listen to him speak about how he became a cinematographer and how he's working in the industry right now, which was really interesting and very insightful. Being able to hear him talk was really great, so I'm happy he's nominated for Joker because that film looked incredible. So out of these, I would want to give it to Joker, The Lighthouse, I think, because The Lighthouse was so unique and unlike any other film I've kind of seen recently. But if Lawrence Sher got it, I'd be really proud, really happy for him. Seems like a really nice guy. I wish I went up and talked to him at the end of the lesson because a lot of people did, but I didn't want to wait in line. I should have done it. Hopefully he comes back, but who knows, he probably won't now that he's so like big, but maybe. Moving on to best original song, these are all the nominees for that. I haven't seen Frozen 2 yet. I'm actually watching that tonight, so I don't really know what to say about Into the Unknown. But as for the Randy Newman song and then the Elton John song, I'm guessing it's probably gonna go to the Elton John song. I'm not too familiar with the other ones, but Rocketman was great, so I could see it going to that. Then we have Best Adapted Screenplay, and these are all the nominees for that. This is a really interesting one because I still haven't seen Jojo Rabbit, unfortunately, but I have seen Little Women, The Irishman, Joker. Haven't seen The Two Popes either, but I've heard that's pretty good. But for this one, I could see it going to Little Women or The Irishman, both really incredible films that came from books, I guess. So I'm guessing Little Women might take this one if they don't give it any other awards, but if not, I could see The Irishman winning, or maybe Jojo Rabbit, who knows? But for my pick personally, I'd like to see Little Women or The Irishman take the award. I think that'd be really great. And then moving on to Best Original Screenplay, these are all the nominees, some really big names and really great films here. We have Noah Baumbach for Marriage Story, Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time, Parasite, Bong Joon-ho, and Han Jin-won, probably pronounced that wrong. Then we have Ryan Johnson for Knives Out, Christy Wilson Cairns for 1917, along with Sam Mendes. Some really big name people here who have been in the industry for a while, have been writing like some really amazing screenplays, so I'm not surprised they're here. And for this one in particular, I have 3 picks I think they're gonna probably choose between. It's probably gonna be Bong Joon-ho, Noah Baumbach, or Quentin Tarantino. Probably one of those, but they could give it to Ryan Johnson. It would be very surprising. I would be kind of shocked actually if they did, but I loved his screenplay. I loved Knives Out. I thought that was incredible. Really well written, so I would love to see him win. Parasite was obviously incredible, so if Bong Joon-ho took it home, like, he'd give a great speech, so I think that'd be really great. But he's nominated for so many other things. He'll probably win, like, maybe Best Director, I would think, hopefully. So for this one, I'd actually like to see Noah Baumbach win. He wrote a beautiful film, and it did feel like a play at times, but I guess that's what he was going for. But for writing in particular, give it to Baumbach. I think that would be great. But if they don't give it to him, maybe they'll give it to Tarantino, and we'll get a really strange, kind of crazy speech, but those are always fun, right? Moving on to Best Foreign Language Film. These are the nominees, but I mean, Parasite's gonna take this one for sure. Then we have Best Documentary Feature, which I haven't seen any of these, so don't really want to say anything about them until I watch a few of them, but I mean, they look kind of interesting. I'll check these out eventually, hopefully. Maybe not, but we'll see. Then we have Best Animated Feature, and these are the nominees for that. Surprisingly, Frozen 2 wasn't nominated, so that kind of surprises me a little bit, because usually Disney gets all their films nominated, but we do have Toy Story 4 on here. Missing Link is also on here, which is from Laika, I believe. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's one of their films. And then How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. Out of all of these films, I've only seen Toy Story 4 and How to Train Your Dragon 3, but I'd have to give it to How to Train Your Dragon. That was a beautiful film. They finished the trilogy off really well, and Toy Story 4 was fine. It looked amazing, like, gorgeous animation for sure, but I didn't really connect to it that much. I don't know. And then moving on, we have Best Original Music Score, and these are all the nominees for that. I was actually pretty surprised to see Randy Newman's name attached at the end of Marriage Story when I saw, like, him in the credits. I was like, oh, interesting. That's kind of cool. But out of these, I could see Joker winning. I know they took home the Golden Globe. Really interesting score, so I could see that winning for sure. But I also loved Marriage Story. Like, that sounded really nice, and it fit the film perfectly. Along with Star Wars, like, that's always great. 1917, I don't remember the score, not gonna lie, so I wouldn't give it to that. So for this one, I'd probably say Joker's gonna win, but I'd also like to see Marriage Story win. Getting into the big ones here, we have Best Director, and these are all the nominees. Surprisingly, Greta Gerwig's not on here. Like, that's kind of unfortunate, but, you know, she can't always be on it, I guess. She was there for Lady Bird, but didn't make it this time, which is too bad. I know a lot of people got mad because there's no women directors on this, but I don't know. That's just how the Academy is. They don't like to do things that people like, I guess. I don't think Todd Phillips is going to win for Joker. I can see Bong Joon-ho winning for Parasite. I think that would be really great because he directed an incredible film, my favorite of the year, personally. I could also see it going to some of the big names like Tarantino or Scorsese. Sam Mendes, I don't think he's going to win, but you never know. I don't think so, though. So I'm going to guess that Bong Joon-ho wins for Parasite, but if not, I think Tarantino's gonna take it home. Then we have Best Supporting Actress, and these are all the nominees. I haven't seen a lot of these, actually. I haven't seen Richard Jewell, Bombshell, or Jojo Rabbit yet, but I have seen Little Women and Marriage Story. And Florence Pugh did such a great job in Little Women. She acted like a 10-year-old when she was like 30, which was kind of weird at times, but it was really interesting. And I thought she did great, so I'd be fine if she won. For the last couple of days, I've been watching like the SAG Awards and Golden Globes, and Laura Dern's been taking home everything, so she's definitely gonna win this, I'm guessing. And if not, I'd be very surprised. So that'd be interesting if Scarlett Johansson won this and she won Best Actress. Like, wouldn't it be crazy if she took both of them? That'd be a pretty, like, big thing to brag about. And then continuing on, we have Best Actress, and these are all the nominees, some big names here. Out of all of these, I haven't seen all the films, but I think Scarlett Johansson's gonna take this one home for sure. If not, I'd be very surprised once again. Moving on to Best Supporting Actor, we have Anthony Hopkins for The Two Popes, Brad Pitt, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, and Tom Hanks. Also some really big names here. After I saw The Irishman, I really loved it, and I thought Joe Pesci and Al Pacino both did great, but Joe Pesci in particular blew me away, so I'd love to see him win this. But I could also see Brad Pitt winning because he's been getting getting a lot of awards lately. I haven't seen the Tom Hanks film, Mr. Rogers film yet. Looks okay, doesn't look that exciting to me. Along with the Two Popes, I'm not like, that's not a movie I need to see right away, but I'm sure they both did great in that. So I think either Brad Pitt or Joe Pesci for sure. I'm guessing Brad Pitt's gonna win, but I'd like to see Joe Pesci win. Then moving on to Best Actor, these are all the nominees. There's a lot of big ones here once again. I don't think Leonardo DiCaprio's actually gonna win. I know he did good in Once Upon a Time, but I can't see him winning for this if he didn't win for so many of his other films. He won for The Revenant, which I guess was well deserved because he did amazing in that, but he's been in better films than that. So out of all of these names, I'm sure Joaquin Phoenix is gonna take it. He's been winning all the awards lately, so I hope he wins. I thought he did incredible. He lost so much weight for the role of the Joker, and he killed it. So I'd like to see him win, and I think he's going to. But then again, Adam Driver also did incredible in Marriage Story, so like I'd be fine with that too. And then getting to the big one, we have the Best Picture nominees, and I'm actually gonna read these out. We have 1917, Ford vs. Ferrari, Joker, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Parasite, The Irishman, Little Women, Jojo Rabbit, and Marriage Story. I still haven't seen Ford vs. Ferrari and Jojo Rabbit, but I've seen all of the other films on this list, and Parasite, I would love to see win. I know it's gonna win Best Foreign Language Film. If it wins Best Picture, I think that would be incredible, but I don't know if it's going to. I could really see 1917 winning, even though I didn't like it that much. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I liked it, but I didn't love it. Like, it wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be. I did enjoy it though, thought it was technically incredible. It was just hard for me to connect to some of the characters. But I could also see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood winning, because it's like kind of one of those Hollywood movies, and the Academy's really into that, I'm sure. I mean, Joker could have a chance winning too, because it has 11 nominations, but I don't know. But honestly, out of all these, I'd want Parasite to win because it was my favorite of the year, but I'd also be fine with literally probably any of them that are on here because they're all great films. But I personally think 1917 is gonna end up winning, which isn't my first choice, but I don't know. I haven't seen Ford versus Ferrari yet, but it doesn't look that Best Picture worthy to me, honestly. It just looks okay. So that's actually everything. I went over all the nominations. Some of them I haven't seen yet, so I didn't really want to talk about, but we got a lot of great movies this year. I'm really happy I got to see so many of them in theaters, watched a few on Netflix, because Netflix is like the new in-theater thing, just how it is, I guess. Everything's gonna be on Netflix soon, like theaters are gonna be gone, which is really sad, but I know it's gonna happen. So, I mean, Blu-rays are like basically like leaving right now. Like they're still there, but they get smaller and smaller at the stores, like their sections and stuff, and I just know they're gonna be gone eventually. I've been really busy still. I just directed a short film and I finished that, and I don't know when I'm gonna release it. I don't know if I'm gonna put it on YouTube or not, but I am finished with it, and I might make a video about like how I made it, like the whole process of making a short film and stuff. I think that'd be interesting. I think that's something you guys might be interested in, but I'm not really sure yet. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna keep making more. I'm happy you guys are okay with the rebrand of the channel, just going to my name. I'm really happy about that, and I think it's a good way to start 2020. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.